shovel in the dirt keeps the devil gone. It's a great line.
I don't know what that means.
It means when a guy gets to work, when a person has meaning in their life, when a person gets to endeavor in something of significance and work and contribution to the world, that keeps temptation away.
Oh.
But you leave a man.
That would explain a lot in my life.
But you shackle and draw on a guy. You bind him up with the oppression of the world, and people just go. People just break. They just go nutty. All right. So there was this news story that I heard this week that was stunning to me, scary, shocking. Back in 2001, the United States entered into a manhunt for Osama bin Laden. According to some friends of mine, Osama bin Laden was in on it, and it was all a ruse. But let's say that that's not true, that maybe Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda really did put together a plan to attack the United States with the events of September 11th.
Is it Marcus Andrusko, one of those?
So they start hunting. No. Okay. So I don't think so. But now that you bring it up, so they start hunting Osama bin Laden, right? Sure. And for 10 years. So I get that it's a big part of the American psyche. Get Osama bin Laden.
Yeah.
Now, what I didn't know was that at gun ranges all around the country, the gun targets that you shoot at, pictures of Osama bin Laden.
Sure.
That doesn't bother you at all. That doesn't.
Nope.
Okay, so when I was a kid, we had a swimming pool in the apartment complex I grew up in. When we would jump off the diving board, and somebody was still in the deep end where you would land on the diving board, we would curl up in a ball and yell "kamikaze."
Oh,
right. This is like, I don't know, early 70s. So after the Pearl Harbor attack, which was a form of suicide attack, right, where a Japanese pilot would take his airplane and fly it right into a ship,
right,
instead of firing a weapon, and they were called kamikaze. So we had this little game called kamikaze where we jump, and as I've gotten older and I thought about that, I'm like, why was I replicating a suicide bomber? I mean, like a kid now jumping off a diving board and yelling Allah Allah Akbar suicide bomber or something, right? Like, it's crazy. Like, no, we should.
However,
so I know there's a desensitization when it comes to war and then victory in war, and people become desensitized to it. I think it's actually really problematic, not just for religious people, but for all of humanity, to turn someone into an enemy and thereby to dehumanize that person to the point that your game can be oriented around the assassination, the killing, the taking the life of that person. Whether or not it was justified in a global war or not, for people to go to gun ranges and to have Osama bin Laden there and be like, I'm going to be the one who wants to shoot and kill that guy. We've jumped the shark, as they say.
How do you clean up that mess from your heart bleeding all over the place? I mean, come on, Doug.
Because humanity our humanity has to call us to something greater than simply retribution and entertainment.
I just don't see why they can't be one and the same.
Well, neither do the people in lovely New Hope, Minnesota, which is just right up the street from here. Here's a little news story. I just want you to listen to the first minute of this. It'll set the frame, and then I'm going to tell you why I think it's crazy.
Okay.
Team, glad you guys made it here for the operation.
Commander Larry Yatch, dressed in camouflage, has some startling news for the platoon gathered in front of him.
We're going to be in Pakistan tonight.
The president has authorized them to kill Osama bin Laden.
Obviously, this is a complete black op, meaning Pakistani government has not given us permission to enter into their airspace. So if we get compromised, they will treat us as if we're a foreign invader, and that's obviously extremely bad.
This isn't a real military mission. It's more of a high-end role-playing game. People pay $325 to come here to the Sealed Mindset Firearms Studio and reenact the raid that killed bin Laden. Although the mission is fake, Yatch, the instructor, is a real Navy SEALs vet. He opened the studio with his wife Anne in April. The lobby looks like an expensive spa, a spa that has custom-made assault rifles mounted on the wall. The 6 participants in tonight's mission start with training and introductions.
Hi, I'm Simi, and we actually bid on this at our kids' school fundraising auction, and it just sounded like a really cool event.
And I'm Mo.
So what these folks do is they come in to this gun range and they are taught how to fire real weapons. So then they get time with these real high-power, high-caliber weapons, and they get a training in shooting, M16s and other things from a former Navy SEAL. Then they transition from there over to a room where they're given paintball guns, and then they go into a part of the building that has been set up like the compound in Pakistan, and they kick in a door one by one, and they've got the room filled with smoke, and there's a guy in an Osama bin Laden outfit in the room who stands up and runs at him, and they fire at him, trying to hit him in the face and the chest.
Dude, that is so awesome. I'm getting an erection.
It is so wrong.
I thought you were just talking about shooting targets down a range.
Oh no,
but
no.
But the guy in a actual Osama bin Laden outfit, and you get to shoot him with
and you get to shoot him with a paintball gun.
Oh.
And so what they do is they get these people all juiced up on firing real weapons. Then they transition to the paintball. So you do get to shoot. Obviously, you don't get to, you're not carrying real weapons into the shooting thing. But then they want these people for the entertainment, or as the nice gal said in the piece there, who was doing this. We thought this would sound like fun. I'm going to fire a deadly weapon. I'm going to fire a weapon that has been created for the single purpose of ending a human's life. Its whole design has been built for that. The whole design of it has been built for that. And then you're going to transition that to another weapon and go in and replicate killing another human being. I think what should happen, and we should all say, the war that was brought upon the United States, that we've been engaging in over years and was brought on September 11th in a particular way to the United States, was tragic, horrible, and the ramification of it was that lethal force has had to be used over the last 10 years, and specifically in the ending of Osama bin Laden's life. We should take the gravity of that, the significance of that, somehow absorb that into humanity, and hope it never happens again. Instead, it becomes a $325 night out where you get to imagine all the thrills that it would be to be a Navy SEAL and go and execute someone.
Oh, it's such a beautiful gold mine. I mean, you could have Hitler's bunker. You could have Gaddafi. You could choose the the bad guy you wanna kill.
Come on.
I think
really?
I think we might be apart on this.
You think? Look, I am not a fully committed singular opinion pacifist at all.
You've been reading some Yoder lately? Is that what that guy?
But I will tell you, to turn that real life activity into a role-playing game. Now, I know when I was a kid, we played Cowboys and Indians. The Indians never killed the Cowboys. Let me just remind you of that. Right? There was a teepee, and it was on the ground, and there was a fort, and it was raised off the ground, and the guns pointed at the teepee. Ridiculous. Wouldn't you say? I would certainly say. But I didn't know that as a kid. But now as an adult, and watching adults go into this place, and there's a picture on the website where the guy is in the Osama bin Laden outfit, and he's got his arms around the people holding up their guns. There's just nothing good about this. I'm telling you, there's nothing good about this. And in a culture in which there is violence that brings about the destruction of the planet and the destruction of humanity, I think this is troubling. Really, really troubling. We call this religious radio. That's not quite right, but sometimes it is so right on. It is just downright spooky. You don't think so?
Kill a commie for mommy. No.
You're still Still not seen it. Hey, we're going to leave you with a little hippie love here over the break. Then we're going to be back with Mel Lawrence. Mel is the author of the book Spiritual Influence. We're going to chat with him about that book here.
And a pretty good shot himself, I understand.
We should ask him.